Hello. Well, I'll go ahead and say who I am again. I already did. I am Kat Schudel. I am an executive director with Color Street, and I am the leader of the Mission Minded Manny Makers. There's several different teams that will be hopping in and watching this and everything. And watching the replay. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And this is going to be phenomenal. Get ready to take notes. All right. So Becky is one of my dear friends. We've met each other through a female networking group, and we have just really like connected and had a blast together through our Toastmasters group. And she did, if you know what Toastmasters is, it's a group where you can go into a safe environment and you can practice doing speeches and things like that, and really get build your confidence and talking with other people. And if you have a hard time doing lives, or you have a hard time even just communicating with people, like it helps with all kinds of skills. So her and I met there, we're on like the committee there, or the leadership team there. And so Becky is one of the most like incredible and powerful women and that I know. And she is so humble and so funny and sweet at the same time. And I just like loved you the second that I met you. And she's a licensed realtor. I'll try to keep letting people in. She is a licensed realtor and part owner of Move Realty with her husband, Will. She enjoys being actively involved in real estate, in the real estate industry, and at the local, state, and national levels. She enjoys being, and currently serves as the president-elect of St. Charles Realtors. And she is also very active in the Women's Council of Realtors. This lady travels like you would not believe. And I mean, that just goes to show you how many people I think look to you for like guidance and wisdom and leadership, and just, you obviously just make people feel like they're, that they can do anything, because if you can have a family and you can have a job and you can be on these committees and do everything that you do, it gives them hope that they can reach their goals and dreams too. So I love that. So please join me in welcoming Miss Becky Klein. She's going to tell us all about how the toys that we used to play with in our toy box actually taught us life's lessons and leadership lessons even. And we really need to lead ourselves well before we can ever lead anyone, including kids, families, anything, well. So this is really something for us on a personal level. You can relate it to your Color Street business, or you don't have to. This is like awesome for, I think, anyone in the world to listen to. And so without further ado, Becky, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Kat. I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a moment. All right. This. Okay. Hello, everyone. As Kat said, my name is Becky Klein. I am here to talk to you about leadership from the toy box, but I know Kat told you a little bit about me already, and some of what I'm about to tell you may be a little bit repetitive, but I'm going to proceed anyway. I always like to learn a little bit about the people that are speaking or presenting to me, so I'm going to give you the same opportunity. So who am I? I am Becky Klein. Yes, I do have purple hair. So as Kat mentioned, I am a licensed realtor and the owner of Move Realty in St. Peters, Missouri. I own that business with my husband. I focus on residential real estate, and he focuses more on the commercial side of things. I am the current president-elect of St. Charles Realtors. So in 2023, I will take over as president. I am both excited and a little anxious about that, but definitely looking forward to it as well. I earned a bachelor's degree in corporate communication and then went on to earn my master's degree in communication with an emphasis in training and development. That was not enough of the collegiate experience for me though, so I decided to go back as an adjunct professor. And I have taught, well, for about 7 years, I taught both at the bachelor's degree level and the master's degree level in communications. So unfortunately when I opened my business, did not have enough time to continue doing that, but I have found other ways to keep teaching by teaching continuing education courses for realtors and members of my association. So I am a wife and a mom, as you can see by the number of stick figures you see there. I have 5 kids, ages 28 to 16. I do have 2 dogs as well. I apologize if they start barking at any point. I will do my best to control them. And then you'll see those little lines down. I also have 3 grand dogs whom I adore. No grandkids yet, but we've still got lots of time. I am a book nerd. I love to read, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is. If you ever see me out and about, I will always have a book in my purse because you never know when you're going to have to wait in line, or it's always nice to have a book. Wow. And then I will also say that I am a self-professed leadership junkie. I love learning about leadership. I love teaching about leadership. I have been enrolled in a lot of local leadership programs at the state level and then nationally as well. So love the topic of leadership. So that's a little bit about me and kind of where I come from. Now let's get to the topic at hand. Leadership from the toy box? Seems a little weird, I know, but opportunities for learning and growth are all around us. We just need to be open to the possibilities and looking for those lessons. They often come from the places that we least anticipate, like the toy box. So what I'm talking to you about today comes from a book called Toy Box Leadership that I've read a couple of times and absolutely love. And I just love the concept of looking at these toys that we played with as children in different ways. So that's my goal for us today, to be able to take some of those toys that we loved as kids and see them differently. In order to get us in the right frame of mind to do that, well, I want to kind of take us back to our inner child a little bit. And if you wouldn't mind, anybody who feels so moved, unmute yourself and tell me what your favorite toy was when you were a kid.
I liked the Teddy Ruxpin dolls. That was my jam.
Excellent.
Talking teddy bear. But of course, like Barbies and Barbies were like the main thing, I would say.
I was very much a baby doll kid. I loved playing with baby dolls and pretending with them.
Awesome, thank you. Anybody else?
And Jenna says the spirograph. Is that the thing that it like moved and you put the color down or whatever and it made all those really cool circles? Oh my gosh, I love that thing. Trina said Cabbage Patch. Yes.
I loved the spirograph as well. My daughter, they actually still exist. My daughter got one for Christmas this year, my 16-year-old, and she was thrilled.
Nice. I loved I loved Cabbage Patch Kids too, but I loved the little strawberry and I had all the strawberry shortcake dolls that smelled and everything, and they fit in the strawberry and all that. Oh man, I wish I still had that.
I was a strawberry shortcake kid myself. So hopefully by the end of today, not only will you be able to see the toys that we're going to talk about differently and see some lessons from those, but hopefully you can take a look at some of those toys that you love to play with as a kid and maybe pull some lessons from those as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. There we go. Got to move you guys around a little bit here. Hang on one second. Okay. So we're going to start with Legos. So Legos teach us that building begins with connections. Connections build a strong foundation and put the power of collaboration and teamwork to work for us. So whether we're talking about Legos or people, making sure that you have a strong foundation of relationships with others is going to really help you find your success. Legos teach us reliability and trust. Fun fact, only 18 out of every 1 million Legos fail to pass quality standards. So think about that for a second. 18 versus 1 million. That's an incredible statistic. So we trust the reliability of those Legos. We know that when we take whatever colors they are, whatever shapes they are, when we take those Legos and we stack them together, they're going to fit. They're going to work, and they're going to allow us to build all sorts of different things. We trust those Legos to always work for us. Good relationships are built on that same kind of trust. Legos teach us adaptability. Regardless of the color, the shape, we know that we can take those Legos and build a tower, and then we can tear that tower down and we can build a fire truck or whatever it is that we can envision with those Legos. They can be all sorts of different things. For example, just 6 of the 8 studded Lego blocks can be arranged in 915,103,765 different shapes. So 6 blocks, 915,103,765 different positions. So what that tells us is we need to be able to adapt. There are times when we're doing things that are working great for us, and then maybe they aren't so great after a while, right? We need to be able to look at what we're doing and maybe try something new. We need to be able to adapt and try different things to be able to move forward successfully. But not everything goes perfectly in life or in Legos. We have to be in the right place to achieve success. Just like those Legos, when we're building our tower, they're not going to stick if there's nothing to stick to. So we have to make sure that we're in the right place, whether that's the right place mentally, whether that's the right position in our career, whatever that is, we need to be in that right place. We can't force Legos to fit if they aren't part of the bigger picture, right? When you open up one of those boxes of Legos, you've got that guidebook that shows you all the different things that you can build. You can't force a Lego to fit into that picture if it's not there. If we're doing things that maybe aren't working for us, in whether that's in business or in our families or whatever part of our life, we can't force them to fit. Sometimes we have to take a hard look at things and adjust. That's going back to that adaptability piece. Sometimes Legos get lost. Not everything is positive in our lives, right? Sometimes things come up that shake us, sometimes down to our core. A lone Lego cannot fulfill its purpose. It needs connection. We need connection to move forward successfully. Relationships are the foundations of our success, whether those relationships are with leaders, teammates, clients, family, or friends. Legos teach us that building begins with connection. Who here did not love Play-doh? My brother used to eat Play-doh, but I love to play with it. Play-doh has unlimited potential. It can be shaped into just about anything that you can think of, and there's a variety of tools that you can use with Play-doh. Just like Play-doh, we take the shape of whatever or whoever molds us, both positively and negatively. We learn from both. We have to be open to being mentored and molded. We have to become that Play-doh. This means we have to be vulnerable and understand not just our strengths and the things that we're great at, but also those opportunities for growth, those things that if we just change them a little bit or tweak them a little bit or work on them a little bit, could change everything about where we're going or our success. We have to be teachable, and not just teachable, but willing to learn. That willingness is the key piece there. And we have to be open and, again, willing to change. Because even if we pick the greatest mentors that we mesh with really well, and we have a great connection and they're super smart and they have all these great things to share with us, if we're not willing to accept what they're telling us, or if we're not willing to make those adjustments ourselves, then those mentors or those molds are wasted. So there are some downsides we have to think about too with Play-doh. We have to make sure that we keep it fresh. And for us, that means we keep learning. That shaping or that shifting or growth process should never stop. What happens if we take the lid off of that Play-doh container and we don't put it back on? Or maybe we forget to put the Play-doh back in the container. If that Play-doh is exposed to an undesirable environment for too long, it will harden and it will crack. And the same thing happens with us, right? If we stay in a poor environment or an unhealthy or a limited mindset environment for too long, we're going to feel that. It's going to stop us from our potential and who we could potentially be. So we have to make sure that we choose the right molds, so the right mentors, but then we also have to be moldable. The yo-yo. I could never do any of the tricks. Whenever I used a yo-yo as a kid, I would let it go. It would come up about 3 inches and then just drop back down. I just didn't get it. However, so if I had a yo-yo in my hand right now, I could hook the string over my finger and hold it in my hand and walk around all day. But nothing would really happen, right? Because the magic doesn't happen until you let go. Creativity is the same way. It has to be released. You don't have to be the most creative leader or the most creative person. But if you surround yourself with people who are and inspire them, not only can they help you come up with that next great idea, but they can inspire you to find more creativity in yourself. To inspire that creativity, there's a couple of things that we need. We need direction. We need to know where we're going and where we want to end up. We need freedom. This is a big one. We need the freedom to think, to really think. Think about big ideas, small ideas, silly ideas. And to be honest, there are no really silly ideas, because it's those silly ones sometimes that inspire us to go to that next level and that next idea and help us to arrive at those really big, really great ideas that propel us to do the next big thing. We need the freedom to explore, to try new things. And when those things maybe don't get us the results that we want, to explore new things and to continue to explore and expand the potential that we have. We also need the freedom to fail. We need to make sure that we are in an environment, and whether that's an environment with people that we work with, a family environment, if that's an environment that we create for ourselves, we need to make sure that we are in an environment where vulnerability is encouraged and celebrated, and failure is simply an opportunity to find another solution. The longer that you can keep that yo-yo spinning, which again, I was never good at with the actual yo-yo, but the more you can keep it spinning, the more opportunities you have to explore and to try new tricks and evolve and improve them. But remember, in order to make magic happen, you've got to let go. You've got to allow yourself to be vulnerable. The Rubiks Cube. So I'm going to share another fun fact about you, or sorry, with you about the Rubiks Cube. The world record for the fastest solution of the Rubiks Cube right now is 3.47 seconds. Now, I don't know about you, but for me personally, being able to solve the Rubik's Cube at all, let alone in under 4 seconds, seems impossible to me. My 22-year-old son loves Rubik's Cubes. He collects them. He has the standard 9 cube that you see here. He has one that has 16 cubes. He has some that have 4 and 2. The kid has a crazy collection of Rubik's Cubes. And he has been playing with them since he was probably 7. He can solve, he was a math major too, so there's a lot of algorithms and things that go into the Rubik's Cube. He can solve it in 1 minute and 25 seconds. I don't know how they do it in 3.47 seconds. At any rate, Rubik's Cube teaches us about ethics. And there are no shortcuts in ethics. There are only 2 ways to solve the cube: following the rules and cheating. And we all knew someone when we were younger who had that Rubik's Cube and peeled all the stickers off and then put them back in the right order. Or maybe they just popped the cubes off and then popped them back on in the right order. Those aren't really solutions. They're shortcuts, loopholes, poor decisions. Those are what we call ethical breakdowns. And when people are in that situation, they find themselves compromising their standards more and more, right? They rationalize unethical decisions and behaviors. At first, maybe it's just a little thing, but then that makes it easier to take that next step, and then that next step. And before we know it, we're way over here, and that line that we crossed is way back here. On the flip side, ethical leaders and ethical individuals accept responsibility and they want accountability. They want to be held accountable for their actions. They develop and demonstrate integrity. So the Rubik's Cube just reminds us that the rules that we live by and the rules that we ignore establish our character. The Slinky Dog. I did not have a Slinky Dog. I had an actual Slinky, and you better believe that thing ran up and down the stairs as much as I could get it to go until they got all tangled up. My sister had a Slinky Dog, and she would never let me play with it. But enough about me. So the Slinky Dog teaches us vision. Vision pulls us forward by giving us direction. So let's think about that Slinky Dog. He was on a string, and when you would pull that string, the front half of the Slinky Dog would walk with you, but the back half would stay back there until it was ready to come up, and then it would shoot forward to catch up. So vision is the same way. We have to pull that vision through our communication. We have to, first of all, know for ourselves what our vision of success is. Where do we see ourselves in the next week, month, year, 3 or 5 years? What does that ultimate success look like for us? Once we know that, then it's our job to pull that vision forward through communicating it with our leadership, our teammates, maybe the people that work under us or work with us on our teams. Maybe it is our spouse, our kids, our friends. By communicating our vision of success with them, we are inviting them to help us reach that goal. And they can't help us do that if they don't know what success looks like for us. We need to pull through with courage sometimes thinking about the future is scary. There's a lot of what ifs. What if I don't reach my vision? What if things go wrong? What if I fail a couple of times? Those are scary things to think about, but we have to be courageous and we have to share those what ifs and those things that we're afraid of with those people that are closest to us, because those are the people that we're going to be able to count on when things go a little wrong. Things maybe go a little sideways. They're going to help us pull back and get back on track if they know what to look for. We have to pull through that vision by example. There are always people watching us, whether it is, again, our leadership or our teammates, our friends, our spouses, or our kids. We want to show those people what it looks like to work hard, to achieve that goal, to be successful. Because if they see us doing it, they're going to know that they can do it too. And we have to pull with determination. Not everyone is going to buy into your vision once you've explained it to them. And it's going to be really easy when those people that we love the most don't get it. It's easy for us then to say, well, maybe they know more than I do. But you have to be determined that you know what success is for you. And you have to keep at it, because once they see you succeeding, they're going to be like the tail end of that Slinky Dog, and they're going to shoot up and be there with you. You need to find your string. If you don't have a string to pull that Slinky Dog, you're not going anywhere. So you have to know what motivates you. You have to know what drives you toward whatever that vision of success is. And then you have to use it. Just like everything else, there's some downsides. Vision can be tricky. Sometimes we don't pull far enough. We underestimate ourselves. Sometimes we pull too far or too soon and we weren't ready. And it's really easy when we're doing something new and we're so excited to get ahead of ourselves. And we're not quite prepared. We don't quite have the resources we need. So we have to be careful. Pull and be patient. Pull forward toward that vision and be patient, not only for those people who maybe don't get it yet to join you, but also for yourself to find the time, the resources, and the tools that you need to reach that vision. The rocking horse. I loved my rocking horse. So busy, sometimes it equals productive, but not always. Don't judge your efficiency by your activity only. Because I know that we all know people who just seem like they're busy all the time. But maybe they're not as efficient or as successful as we think. And over time, inefficiency causes us to lower our expectations of what progress actually is. So the more we're rocking back and forth on that horse and not really going anywhere, I mean, maybe we move forward an inch when really what we should have moved forward was a foot. But the longer that we stay at that pace, the more that inch looks like huge progress. So we have to be careful. We want to set goals and keep our horse focused in the right direction. Evaluate your activities. What activities are moving your horse forward toward your goals? And what activities are keeping you rocking in the same place? If you find that you have lost momentum and that things aren't moving as quickly or as progressively as they once were, it's time to stop and evaluate some of the things that we're doing, because what worked for us a week ago or a year ago may not be working for us today. We want to make sure that we are keeping current on all of the information and skills that we need to be successful and to be productive. Whether that's knowing our products, knowing what's coming down the pipeline, or being able to find new ways to present or to modify some of the things that we're doing to make them more successful for us. And this one's big for me. I love to procrastinate. But I've learned that you have to do, we all have things that we don't love doing, but usually those are the ones that we need to get done before we can move forward for everything else. So do the things that you prefer not to do first. Get them out of the way so you can focus on the parts of life, of business that you really enjoy and that can really push you forward. Okay, so I have to confess, this is one of my favorites. I loved Weebles when I was little. And I'm going to ask you to unmute if you also loved Weebles, because we are going to say it. Weebles wobble, but they don't
fall down.
down. Yes. So I had one of my favorite toys as a child. I loved Winnie the Pooh. I was a huge Pooh, Tigger, you name it. They were my faves. I had the Weebles Winnie the Pooh treehouse. It was the best thing ever. But let's be honest, sometimes Weebles do fall down. So we have Weebles truth number 1. Falling down is inevitable. We have to prepare for the fall. Now, I'm not saying that we go into everything saying, I just know I'm going to fail anyway, because then we're not really putting forth the effort that we should be to make it successful. So that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying we need to go into things with contingency plans or backup plans. If this doesn't work, I'm going to do this. That's not setting us up to fail. That's setting us up to be prepared for when things don't go our way. For me in real estate, when that market shifts, I'm prepared. I have a backup plan. I know what I'm going to do next. I know my next move. We have to learn from the fall. So we have to take a look at what put us in the position to fall in the first place, right? How did we arrive here? What could we have done differently? And what will we do differently in the future? And then don't duplicate the fall. Don't do it again. If you've truly learned from the fall, you know what not to do to put yourself in that same position again. Weebles truth number 2, endurance requires balance. Balance with determination. So when we fall down or we fail, our determination is going to be that thing that makes us pop back up like those Weebles. If we lose sight of the energy that put us in that position in the first place, and we're not determined to get back up, we're not going to do it. Balance with resilience. So resilience comes from determination. Resilience is the ability to overcome setbacks, to overcome those challenges. We need to be resilient because Weebles fall, and they don't just fall once. They fall over and over again. We need to be resilient enough to pop back up again every single time. Balance with purpose. What brought us here in the first place? What are we trying to achieve? What is that ultimate vision of our success? What drives us to keep going? Who are we doing this for? Those are the things at the end of the day that will keep us hopping back up again and again and again. Don't lose sight of your purpose for what you're doing. And we're going to balance with external factors. Those people that we talked about earlier, whether it's your mentors or your leaders or your teammates, your family and friends, those people that support you, who see your vision because you've explained it so well and communicated it with them, and they know the pitfalls, they know your plan. Those are the people that are going to push you to get back up. Maybe your determination has failed you a little bit. Maybe you're not feeling resilient. Maybe you've lost sight of your purpose. When all of those things happen, it's those people that you've shared your vision with that are going to push you back up. It's also your experience, right? Going back to those times that we fell, those lessons that we learned, that's going to push you back up as well. So the first step in getting back up is determining that staying down isn't an option. So let's recap. Our Legos taught us about connections and relationships and the importance of building a strong foundation. Plato taught us about mentoring, choosing the right molds or the right people to help shape who we want to be, whether that's in business, in our families, in all aspects of life, and then being open, willing, and moldable. Our yo-yos taught us creativity, and that nothing important or big is going to happen until you let go. Let go of those things that are holding you back, be vulnerable, and be ready for what's going to come next. Our Rubiks Cube taught us ethics. Remember, it's the rules that you follow and those that you ignore that determine your character. The Slinky Dog taught us vision. We need to pull forward through that vision and then be patient for ourselves and for everyone else to catch up. The rocking horse taught us efficiency. Busyness does not equal productivity. We can rock back and forth on that horse and not really get anywhere. So we need to make sure that the activities that we're doing are moving us forward. And the Weebles taught us endurance. That no matter how many times we fall, the key is to keep getting back up. All right, does anyone have any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Now do you guys see why I loved this so much? It's like, oh my gosh, this like, it's so, I'm like a word picture person. So any kind of visual like this really speaks to me because I can actually visualize it. And part of it, you know, the Slinky Dog was talking about vision. So like part of it, or that's exactly what these examples did. It like shows you the vision, no matter what you have in front of you, whether it's you want to take your family on a vacation for the summer, or you want to excel in your corporate job, or with your Color Street business, or, you know, as a realtor or whatever, or you want to, you know, go out on a new endeavor like Megan Haskins. Her and her husband have gotten into real estate investment. And so they have like VRBO homes. So they, you know, they're diving in, they're stepping in on faith. And I mean, can you imagine already they have 2 or 3 places. So can you imagine how many mistakes they've already made and learned from? So each home will just get better and better and better and easier, you know, with the process and stuff. So it's no matter where we are in life, these are lessons that we can all use. And I will like never look at a toy the same. So are there any questions from anybody? You can unmute and go for it. I didn't see any in the chat.
I was going to say, you don't want me to unmute right now because my 3-year-old is having a fit. This is why I can't host Zooms in the evening. So great. Thank you so much, Becky, for doing this for us. And I love analogies. And so that's how my training brain works too. Love it. So it's so good. Like I'm in my mind thinking of all the graphics to create. So good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody's saying, thank you so much. Thank you. Makes sense when using those descriptions. Very powerful. Jenna said, I'm a Weeble.
And you are my Play-Doh molds.
Jenna or Rachel said on the Facebook feed, she said, thank you so much. She learned a lot and enjoyed this very, very much. I don't see any other questions or anything like that. Does anybody else have any more? Megan said she feels like a whack-a-mole these days. Yes. She has 5 kids. Becky knows how you feel.
Me too.
There you go, mentor.
I'm guessing that mine are a little older than yours, so let me just tell you there is an end in sight.
Yes. Yeah, hers
Oh,
are
yeah.
little yet.
Mine are a lot older.
Did she show you the baby? Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Little bit.
My youngest will be 17 next month and my oldest will be 29 in September. So
Oh. Gosh, you look way too young to have old kids like that.
I know, right?
that's that fun filter on Zoom that you can make it lessen your wrinkles and smooth over your appearance.
No, you look exactly like that in person.
You and
All right.
both.
Well, thank you so, so much for your time, Becky. We appreciate you more than anything. And there's going to be, like I said, tons of people that are watching this and just gaining so much wisdom from everything that you've shared. I put the link to the book in the comments in the chat. I can also put it in the comments on the Facebook feed. And again, thank you so, so much. I'll put the video. Yes, Sarah, the video will be, I'm recording it and then I'll put it to YouTube private if you like, Becky, if you want me to leave it private so other people can't see it, or I can make it public, whatever you like. And then,
You should put it in the Toastmasters Facebook group.
oh, I'm definitely doing that. Definitely doing that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity and thank you all for joining in the Zoom and allowing me to speak.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.